What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be fishing a low golf course pond. This pond is hit all the time. It is a very popular pond in the South Chandler area, but we're going to test it out, see how we can do. We got the free rig tied on, little X-Zone Lures Deception Worm, plum color. It typically doesn't let me down. We typically get some fish on it, so we're going to test it out, see how we do. Hopefully we don't get hit by any golf balls. Let's get out there, let's go whack them. All right, y'all, so this water clarity looks absolutely phenomenal. This plum color deception worm is going to do some damage. That wind might help us out a little bit, you know, maybe turn up some bait a little bit, push some crawdads around, get the bass activated. I think we might do well. Man, I'll tell you what, guys, if we didn't have this wind today, we would be agonizing out here. I mean, it is so freaking humid. This wind really helps to cool you down. This pond gets hit every single day, morning and evening, so it's pressured heavily, and over the years the fishing has gone down in it just because of the pressure that it has. I remember when this pond was first built, guys, the lipless crank and the jig bite, it was out of this freaking world for a pond. I mean, I'd pull 20-30 fish out of here in the evening. I'd come out here maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, and it was just top-notch fishing for an urban area. It was so much fun. And then obviously, you know, the growth of the valley, more buildings started occurring around here. People started moving in, easy access. You come out, you fish. It just naturally got more pressured. I'm probably not going to get bit doing this. Unfortunately, I don't have a paddle tail with me. Completely my fault, because I do have a paddle tail tied on my new Cash and BFS rod. And that would have been a situation where you toss that little sucker out right there. Man, that's why you got to do your best and come prepared. And I mean, I should have known better too. You know, a little chop on the water, a little bit of a breeze. Typically that'll churn up the bait fish, and it could typically get the bass biting a little bit. It can get them going because they feel that pressure drop right before a storm comes into the valley. I mean, we had a pretty good storm this morning. We got storm clouds forming in the south, forming in the north, so they could be getting ready to, you know, go on another little feed bag before evening. All right, y'all, keeping it super simple. Little 2.8-inch emerald shad right there by Fat Pack Baits, little fast swimmer, paired up with a little Walmart 1/8 ounce little ball head. That's all you need to catch fish. Simplicity is key. We're not going to be able to really cast this thing out super far, but I don't think we're going to need to. I think the fish are going to be relatively close to the bank, at least the ones that are chewing, because from my perception of what I've seen so far, the few bass that I have seen, they've been ambushing obviously up onto the bank. They're not attacking them out deep or anything. I'm thinking if this thing's just running along the bank perfectly, little bass is going to see that thing as a beautiful snack and just slurp it right on up. Because of how light it is though, man, it is hard to cast. Very hard to cast. There's one right up onto the bank. That was so sick, y'all. That was so sick. Third cast with a 2.8-inch fast swimmer. Look at that. Look how we downed it. Down the gully. Those Walmart hooks are underrated. Nice little bass right there. Just as I suspected, they were going to ambush the bait fish right up onto the bank, because like I said, it looked like he went right back in there and went after something else. My goodness. But yeah, just as I was saying, it looked like from what I saw, they were pushing them up onto the bank, which is typically what they do, but there are those times where they'll attack them out deep. But, you know, we got the right thing dialed in right now. Third cast with the 2.8-inch fast swimmer. Let's get this thing going. A lot of activity, y'all. That's what you want to look for. Activity. Especially when there was a storm this morning. It was a cooler storm, and that cooler rain that came up and gave us a little pour down this morning, it cooled off bigger fish, y'all. Bigger fish. Oh my goodness. Feels good. Don't jump. Stay down. Ooh. Yo, that's a freaking beautiful bass. Beautiful, absolutely incredible. Barely pinned them. But like I was saying, this morning we had the storm come in. It was much colder rain, cools off the top portion of the water column a little bit. It raises the bait fish higher into the water column and gets these bass going, because bass sense that lower pressure. They feel that cooler water, and that also equates to more oxygen for these bass to come alive. So a little paddle tail right there by Fat Pack Baits. That is absolutely deadly. One last look at this guy. Thank you for the bite, buddy. You gave me a freaking battle that I won't forget today. That was so freaking sick. If you guys want to get any of these little paddle tails from Fat Pack Baits, Use promo code SWFishing101. It'll save you 25% off your final order, so you can get a boatload of these suckers and save a good amount of money on it. All right, y'all, so I am so glad that I made that switch up with the fast swimmer. We got 2 fish. We've had a couple bites, some bluegills following the bait up and, you know, chowing down on it. Obviously, they're too small to get a hold of it, but it is awesome to see there's so much fish activity going on. I'm seeing freaking tilapia, carp. I've seen a couple catfish surface, obviously the bass. But if I didn't make that switch, we probably would have 1 fish, but we wouldn't have both fish up, especially that nice one. That was a nice bass, and I was really happy to get that one. We've only been fishing for like 20 minutes, so let's give it 20 more, see what we can do. We're gonna run around this pond real fast. Let's go out there, let's go get them. That was so sick. I'm all talking and then just getting juiced up. That's all we had to do. You see the activity, move to a moving bait. Even though at first, the only activity that we were seeing, even though at first when we first got here, the only activity that we were seeing were carp and tilapia moving around, sometimes that's all you need to see, because if they're moving around, you know the bass are moving around as well. All right, y'all, we're grabbing the BFS, and I think it's going to help us from the fact that we're going to be able to whip it out there way further. Longer retrievals equals more commitment time for those bass to, you know, really dial it in and want to hit it. All right, y'all, check out the Cash and Icon BFS rod. This thing is gnarly. It's a 610 medium light. The thing I like about the American BFS rods are a little stouter, got a little more backbone, so if you hook a big fish, you can actually pull them up onto your boat or onto the bank wherever you're fishing. And we got the Zypher Cast King BFS reel, and we got 10-pound braid to a 6-pound fluorocarbon leader with the same exact bait that we had on before, 2.8-inch fast swimmer. Let's see how this thing is. First time fishing with this Cash and rod. So far, it feels really good. I like the backbone on it. At least get on the rocks, get off the grass. There's one. There's one. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it's got a nice backbone. I like it. It's a good rod right there. Check that out right there. Not too bad. Fat little bass, y'all. Absolute little chunk. And that Dirty Jigs hook, y'all, it just sticks those fish. Man, that was sick. I was able to feel that bite from a mile away. Oh my gosh, he came right off the bank, y'all. Right off the bank. He was sitting right there. I literally watched him eat it. He looked just like a rock. All I saw was a little flash, and I was like, no freaking way, as he splatters water in my eye. But I was like, no freaking way. That is sick. Another, you know, little pond-sized bass. Nothing big, but not too bad. That was so freaking cool, y'all. I literally watched him. He was sitting, no joke, right here in this like little pocket area, and I just watched him turn. I thought it was a rock the whole time. That's why I just kept walking up on it. Man, they're close to the bank. They are very close. One last luck of the draw. It's like consistent and then lack consistency all at once, as I make one of the worst casts. There's one. There's one. There's one. And it's a good one, y'all. Beautiful hook set. Kind of a pale fish. I'll tell you what, I'll take him. That fish had an interesting frame. This has actually ended up being pretty freaking cool. Middle of the day, you know, 2-3 p.m. and we got onto a moving bite in a pond that is max 10 feet deep, so you know it's like a hot tub. It's so freaking cool. I'll take this every day. All right, y'all, so you know, not too bad. 5 fish in 55 minutes, 1 fish every 11 minutes. That is not too bad for a pond that is as pressured as this one. Like I said, people fish this pond every single day, every morning, every evening. I haven't had good fishing in this pond in a couple years, but today was the best day in a while, and you know, only being out here for about an hour, cannot complain with that. Especially when you could get on a moving bite with those little paddle tails. They're so much fun. We were using the Fast Swimmers by Fatback Bait, so if you guys want to check those out, use my promo code SWFishing101 for 25% off, and it'll save you some cash at checkout. That Cash and rod was freaking beastly. I love that thing. Go check them out at Copper State. And without further ado, we'll see you guys next time on Southwest Fishing.